Hey everyone, this is Marshall, aka the ThetaTrada. In this video, we're going to be talking about LEAPS. So before we get started, for all the new people here, I just want to make you aware of the links in the description. There's a link to my options trading log, which is in the form of a Google Sheets document. You can see my live account value along with any active trades that I have going on and any past trades that I have already closed out. If you don't want to have that trading log open all the time, there's a link to my Twitter down in the description as well. So I post every single time I make a trade up on the Twitter, and I post a lot of cool stuff there that I think you guys might enjoy as well. Also, if you like the content in this video and you want to see more, I have a lot of educational style videos that I have ideas for that I'm making in the future. So if you want to see more content from me, like and subscribe to the video, and there'll be more coming out. There's another one coming out the same day that this video is coming out. It's going to be going over poor man's covered calls. So if you guys want to learn about that, like and subscribe to this video, and you can see all my future videos. So like I said, in this video, we're going to be talking about LEAPS and in general, just why I think that they are so much better than buying 100 shares of a stock. And hopefully at the end of this video, next time you think about buying shares of a stock, I hope you buy LEAPS instead. So with that, let's get right into the video. So let's look at the benefits of buying LEAPS. So typically when someone buys a LEAP, at least how I buy LEAPS, is they are buying an option that is deep in the money with a very high delta. And the high delta mixed with the low theta decay basically means that we get to control 100 shares of a stock for a fraction of the price. Now to show you how this is going to work, I'm actually going to take you into my Thinkorswim account and not into Robinhood, because I think this is going to show it a lot better, basically. So for those of you who haven't seen Thinkorswim, we are looking at calls right now, and the main columns that we're going to be looking at are delta, theta. We're going to be looking at this extrinsic column right here, and we're going to looking at the mark. And the mark, in case you guys don't know, is just basically the mid price between the bid and the ask. This is how much the option is currently trading for. So right now we're looking at, I know you guys can't see it, but we're looking at Workhorse right now, WKHS. And we're looking at the January 21st, 22. So this expires basically a year in the future. And it says POS down here, not because I'm a POS, but because I have a position. And you can see that right here. That's this $10 call. So I do own a LEAP on Workhorse currently. So if we look at the delta right now, again, like I said, when people buy LEAPS, they buy for the high delta, the low theta decay, so that you can basically own 100 shares without owning 100 shares. So our delta right now is at 0.94. Now, if you think about the delta on 100 shares, it seems weird to think about, but if we think about the delta on 100 shares, your shares will go up by $100 every time that the share price goes up by $1. So you own 100 shares, each one went up by $1, you would gain $100, right? So what this is saying is that this call right here will go up by $94 every time that the share price goes up by $1. Because remember, the delta is how much the price of the option will change for every $1 increase or decrease in the underlying. So we are getting really, really close to that basically share delta, which is 1. We're at 0.94, so we're only 0.06 away. So this is basically like owning 100 shares, because we're getting 94% of what 100 shares would get. If we also look at the theta value, this is only going to decrease, this call is only going to decrease in value by 0.01 every day, which is basically nothing. Which, again, if we think about shares, your shares are not going to decay at all. They're shares, and they will always be the 100 shares. But this is an option, and it will decay, but this decays by a very, very, very small amount. So what I mean when I say you can basically get 100 shares for a fraction of the price is, if we look at the mark of this call option right here, this is going to basically cost us, let's say, $2,450. So $2,400 and $2,450. But if we went and bought 100 shares right now, it would basically cost us $3,290. So if we just do like some quick math right here. 3290 minus, let's say, basically 2450. Basically saved ourselves $840 by buying this LEAP versus buying the 100 shares right now. So with this savings of $840, I mean, you can do whatever you want with it. You know, this is just extra buying power that you have left over by not buying 100 shares and buying this LEAP. So looking at this next bullet point, the risk of buying a LEAP versus owning shares is the extrinsic value of the option. So again, going back to our workhorse call that we have here, this $10 call, if you bought 100 shares right now, this would cost you $32.75. And if you rode this, let's say at expiration, they're only worth $10. So if you bought 100 shares now and you rode it all the way down to $10, that would suck, but say that did happen, you would be losing $2,275 in value of those 100 shares. Now, if we look at our call, it costs us $24.45 for this call. Now again, we would still own the shares because we expired at the money. Our shares would still get exercised, but we'd be losing $24.45 on this. So if we take the difference of this $22.75 that we would lose if we just bought the 100 shares and the premium of our call option, if we take that difference, we end up with a $170 loss, which just happens to be the extrinsic value of this call option. So keeping in mind that $170, the extrinsic value of this call option, is the risk of taking on this LEAP rather than buying the shares, well, let's also take into consideration that we saved $800 and some odd dollars, I forget what the value was now, of buying this LEAP versus buying the shares now. So basically, if we can make $170 on our $800, we've eliminated the risk of this call option. Looking at the next bullet point, LEAPS also offer downside protection. So what I didn't go over was what happens if this workhorse is at January 21st is at $8. What if it's at $5? Well, we're going to lose 100% of this premium, so we're going to lose, you know, I need to pull the calculator up. We're going to lose 100% of this. We're going to lose 100% of $2,445. But if we held on to these shares don't have, our call option would just go expire worthless, and we would just pay the $24,450. But if we owned 100 shares, and this just kept on going down and down, eventually these could ultimately go to zero, because I mean, if the company becomes solvent or anything like that, we would only be losing our $2,400, but we'd be losing our almost $3,300 if we actually bought the shares. So that's all I really have for this video. I just wanted to get a short and sweet video out there on LEAPS. There's not really too much to say about them, but there are like a ton of benefits. So in the next video, we're going to talk about poor man's covered calls. So I really wanted to get this video out there alongside that video, because we will be how a poor man covered call work is we will be purchasing LEAPS, and so I just wanted to get everyone up to speed on why we would want to buy LEAPS and the benefits of them and the downsides, which there really isn't any except for that extrinsic value. But again, if you can make the money on that extrinsic value, or the difference between the cost of the LEAP and the cost of 100 shares, and you can make up that extrinsic value, then there really is no risk to LEAPS. So again, check out the links in the description. A lot of cool stuff down there for you guys to see. And also, if you like this video and you want to get videos like the poor man's covered call video recommended to you, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel as well. That's all I really have for you guys in this one. So until the next one.